If you live in America, no matter which state you live in, there will be some mold found in your home. This holds true for anywhere else in the world. Fungi in living spaces is naturally occurring, and there is simply no way to eliminate it completely. However, living in some states, you are more susceptible to mold in your home. In this video, we will explore the top 5 moldiest states to live in. But before we get started, go ahead and smash that like button and then hit the subscribe button on the bottom right of the screen. So here were the considerations that were taken into account when compiling the list. The first thing we looked at was precipitation. Now, rainier conditions mean more of a possibility for leaks in the home. As you will find out though, this is probably the quality that matters the least. The next thing we looked at was humidity. The humidity of each state was looked at. Now, of course, we know that mold thrives in high relative humidity within the home. The next thing we looked at was insurance information. When determining the moldiest states, information on homeowners insurance water damage claims and the cost of insurance premiums in each state was looked at. The next thing we looked at was building construction. Some houses are more prone to mold by the way the home is built. Now, for example, non-porous and semi-porous building materials are typically used on older homes, making it less susceptible to mold. The next thing we looked at was lifestyle. Now, lifestyle choices go hand in hand sometimes with building construction. For example, people in some states may not have central air conditioning, or they may not run it as often, which leads to higher humidity. So now that we established what we're looking for, let's take a look at the top 5 moldiest states. Number 5, California. Considering California is a dry part of the country, mold is often overlooked. However, it shouldn't be. While California is not known for humidity or rain, the Golden State as a whole still has more than double the amount of precipitation compared to another western state like Nevada. The summer months are also more humid than you would think. Between June, July, and August, you can pick any given day, and the humidity might actually be higher in Los Angeles compared to a city like Miami. To further elaborate on the issue of humidity in California, many homes are not built with central air conditioning. While these houses don't have central AC, they do have a ventilation system that works just fine. Where the trouble arises is when there's a leak during these humid times. If not dried up properly, mold can start to grow under the right conditions. Mold spores can then become airborne, and fragments of mold spores can be found within porous building materials in your home, such as clothes or on carpets. Other air quality issues due to the wildfires usually get noticed more so than mold, but mold should not be overlooked in the state of California. Number 4, Mississippi. Mississippi is certainly not thought about when you think about Hurricane Katrina. You generally think about New Orleans. However, Mississippi had roughly $30 billion worth of damage. The Gulf Coast took quite the hit. Not only is Mississippi one of the most humid states and have the most precipitation, but it also has some of the highest homeowners insurance premiums. Also making the argument is that the numbers may actually be higher than reported when looking at the economic status of families in Mississippi. Mississippi does have a growing real estate market, and the economy was doing well before the pandemic in 2020. Still, at approximately $43,000 median income in 2018, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, it ranks near the bottom of the states in that category. Now, why does this matter? Well, Quest Diagnostics put together a study and found out that economically disadvantaged children are 18% less likely to get tested for allergies than economically advantaged children. This means fewer people, specifically children, are being tested to even realize that mold is an issue. When money is an issue, mold generally falls to the bottom of the totem pole. This slot could have easily also been Alabama due to coastal flooding. Number 3, Texas. They say everything is bigger in Texas. They may also be referring to mold problems because Texas has its share. Texas is one of the first states to put mold licensing laws into place in 2004. Being at the forefront was necessary. Along the coast during the early part of the 21st century, the state saw a sharp uptick of mold damage claims. It hasn't stopped either. Texas is still up there as a state with one of the most amounts of water damage claims. Like California, Texas is mostly thought of as a dry climate. While humidity isn't the first thing you think of when you're thinking of the Lone Star State, it really depends on what region of Texas you are in. Texas is a huge state. Down by the Houston area and the whole Gulf region is very different than other parts of Texas. Springtime can be quite humid throughout the entire state. Texas is one of the fastest growing states over the past 40 to 50 years. Newer construction materials means more porous building materials where mold can grow on. All these factors went into putting the Lone Star State as the third moldiest state to live in. Number 2, Louisiana. Everyone is aware of the havoc that Hurricane Katrina caused in the state of Louisiana, especially in New Orleans. But Louisiana is one of the most humid states there is. During the summer months, it can be even muggier than Florida. Add that on top of the fact it's a lot of swampland, it could be a recipe for fungal growth. Real estate in Louisiana is also mostly newer. According to a study done in 2018 by the American Community Survey, only about 11% of the homes were built before 1950. Around the 1950s is when construction materials were starting to become more cellulose-based, which supports mold growth. According to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, Louisiana also had the highest average insurance premiums in the country in the year 2017. Needless to say, Mardi Gras and gumbo can get quite moldy. Number 1, Florida. Florida takes the cake here. It's the home of many things such as Mickey Mouse, hurricanes, palm trees, the Everglades, and overall craziness. Florida is also the home to the state where you'll most likely have a mold issue. Water damage claims jumped 46% from the period of 2010 to 2015. There have been so many water damage claims over recent years that the state decided to change their insurance laws in 2019 to help. Some of it had to do with the rise of insurance fraud, but no doubt there is plenty of mold in the state of Florida. Being in the southeast, the weather is warm and humid all year long, which is a prime opportunity for mold to grow. Also, because homes in Florida have air conditionings and is running quite often, there are more of an opportunity for mold to go through the HVAC ductwork. Not to mention the 20-minute rainstorms that feel like hurricanes happen in the spring and summer months, which can cause water intrusion into the home. So to recap the top 5 moldiest states to live in, you have at number 5, California, at number 4, Mississippi, at number 3, Texas, at number 2, Louisiana, and at number 1, Florida. So there you have it. Leave me a comment and let me know if your state was left out and if you think it should be on that list. Also, go to lookmold.com for more information about mold. And please go ahead and like this video.